So what is your job as a real estate agent? Let's find out. You want to start with why. Why you do what you do, okay? That is so important. Try to be as specific as possible. You probably want to have a 5-year goal and break that down into 1-year goals, right? So since you have your 1-year goal, figure it out. What is the dollar amount behind it? So if you want to maybe buy a house, you want to travel more, you want to pay down some debts, maybe help your family, you want to contribute a little bit to the community, how much money you're going to need to get that accomplished, okay? Let's say you're talking about 200,000. That's the goal for this year. How many transactions you're going to have to do, okay? Let's talk about the numbers now. For example, let's say the average commission in your area is $12,000 and your commission split is 70-30, 70-30, right? How much you really left with? You're left with $8,400. So $8,400, that's really what you're going to be making per transaction now. 200,000 divided by 8,400, that's about 24 deals per year. Now what's really important, we got the goal, right? 24 transactions, but what are really the activities which are going to generate the results, right? We know the outcome, but what has to be the input? What are some of the activities you have to do yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily? Okay, let's figure it out. So if you want 24 deals, 24 transactions closed, I should say, you're probably going to need to put at least 25 deals on the contract, right? Let's just say maybe one transaction is going to fall apart for whatever reasons. So you need 25 contracts. Now, if you want 25 contracts, how many offers you're going to need, right? Because the offers, they come right before the contracts. How many offers you're going to have to actually submit to get it accepted and go to contracts? Let's say 75 offers. Let's say 1 out of 3. And I think that's pretty realistic, given the circumstances. Of course, every area is a little different, okay? So 75 offers. Now, how many showings you're going to need? Let's say 3 showings, you get 1 offer, right? Simple math. So we got 75 times 3 equals 225 showings, right? 225 showings. Now keep in mind, if you need 25 contracts, how many people you actually have to meet? Let's say 1 out of 2, so about 50%, whether you're a seller or buyer, and 50% of the time you get the listing signed, or you decide to work with the buyers as your client. So that's about 50 appointments met. And how many appointments you have to set, because keep in mind that all the appointments which you're going to set, not all of them you're going to meet. There's always going to be some people which they just not going to show. And there's various reasons why they're not going to show, right? Maybe you didn't do a good job of really qualifying them or really showing them a value why they want to meet you, okay? So let's say 60 appointments set. Let's say 10 out of the 60 is not going to meet you, okay? Now, how many conversations you need to have in order to get to the 50 appointments and get to 25 contracts and 24 deals? Let's take number 80 conversation equals 1 sale, right? So if we take 80, 24 times 80, it's about 1920. 1920 conversations. Now, people, conversations doesn't necessarily mean a conversation is just over the phone. This could be over the text. This could be somebody you meet at the open house. This could be somebody you meet in the grocery shop. This could be on social media as well, right? Maybe Insta messages. So we got the goal set. You got the activities, right? Now you know what you got to do. The most important thing is for you to stay on track, okay? So what you're going to have to do is to track and measure the activities. Now, we do use a system called Sisu. It really makes it super easy for you, to see where you are and see where you want to go. Now, what's really important about tracking, guys, number 1, right? You want to know at any given point where you are relative to your goal and see exactly what activities you may be lacking behind, maybe what you're right on the target, maybe what you are ahead of the game, right? So that's number 1, know where you are. Number 2, you also want to know where you can improve, right? So for an example, if you can see that you do have plenty of showings, but maybe not getting enough offers, what does that tell you? It really tells you that most likely you should be working on a skill set of getting offers, right? If maybe getting offers, but not writing contracts, what it means that maybe you're a little weaker on getting good offers, right? So it also tells you where you can really improve. Really important, okay? So how are you going to stay on track, guys? How are you gonna have it up and visual? Let's go into it. Okay, so we got the yearly numbers. We have to break it down into the weekly numbers, okay? And we have to focus that you're gonna hit the numbers every single week. So I got the yearly numbers over here: 24 closed, 19-20 conversation, 50 appointments set, and 225 showings. So they're gonna break it down into weekly. That's 40 conversations, 1 appointment, and 5 showings every single week. You want to have this up and visual somewhere in front of the office, right next to you, so you can see it all day, every day, okay? We know that you need 50 appointments per year. That's 50 working weeks. Probably take 2 weeks off, right? You can always adjust the numbers if you're working, less weeks. You're taking more time off. You just adjust the numbers. So 1 appointment per week. Appointment set, just have number 1. So your focus is just to fill up the blank every single week. Once you do, mark it done, right? Next week comes, you delete that name, you get it again from the 0. Now for showings, we know that you need 225 showings per year. That's 5 showings per week, right? Again, put in your work, showings, 1 through 5. Start filling your schedule, okay? It's great you're making the calls and you're setting those appointments, but don't forget, that's the very first step. The second step actually is you gotta take the people out, okay? So by the end of the week, you really wanna prep yourself for the following week. Fill up your calendar, okay? Reach out to the bars you just met with, see when they are available, and just fill in the blanks. Monday through Friday, know the days, just put a name on it so you can schedule the showings for them, take them out, and write the offers. One thing what I found really important is quality over quantity. However, you have to go through the quantity to get to the quality, right? So if your goal is to sell 2 homes per month, what you need to really focus on is 3 serious people at any given point. Always get 1 extra, okay? So something what we're going to talk about is the pipeline. The 30, 60, 90-day pipeline, all right? So if your goal is to sell 2 homes per month, you should really have 3 names on each line. Now what happens, the 30-day people, those are people basically you're working with, writing offers, and you know for a fact they'll be going to contract this month. As the people go into contracts for this month, now the 60 is going to become 30, the 90 is going to become 60, and you're going to fill in more people from the top, right? Now what's going to happen, you're most likely going to have more people. Then you can fit in your pipeline. You want to have a substitute bench. You want to have a list of people which maybe you're not really sure about if they're ready to go or not, or maybe they're getting ready to go, right? So as you're making your phone calls every single day and you're meeting new people, things might change, right? Maybe somebody who was 30 now, something changed in their life, they're not 30 anymore, right? They might have to go and substitute, or they might go to 90 days now, right? Or maybe you get somebody who's ready to go now and they have to buy. Now they become 30, right? So you have to really review pipeline every day, and you're speaking to people and be honest with yourself and see, who is deserving to be on your 30-day pipeline and who should be on the 60-day pipeline and 90-day pipeline. The same thing with the showings. As you come into the office on Monday, this list should be filled up, right? You should be clear on who you're working with, who you're taking out. If there are no names on these things, I will be concerned, because what does that tell you? That number 1, either you don't have no one to really work with seriously to take them out, write offers, and put them to contracts, or maybe you're really running behind the ball, and what happens now, midweek, you're really trying to schedule the showings and trying to figure it out, who you're going to take out, and we know that's not a good thing, because now you're taking away from a different stuff, maybe from prospecting, or negotiation, or education and training, or maybe some marketing, right? So you always want to keep a balance. You want to have as many things scheduled as possible. And the same thing for the appointments. If there's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks when you're setting no appointments and you're not meeting people, new people to work with, because you feel like that maybe right now you have the right people to work with, yeah, it's maybe okay short term, but keep in mind the real estate, it's always 60 days behind, right? We're lacking 60 days behind. So yeah, maybe okay today, but because setting appointments today, it will affect you in the next couple of months. So always appointment set, keep that filled. Showings, Monday through Sunday, whatever days you're working, that has to be filled up before end of the week for the following week. And your pipeline, number one, you want to stack your pipeline, right? That's important. However, you want to stack it with quality, right? So if you have 3 names over here, you know for a fact these people gonna buy. If you don't have a name over here which you feel like 100% confident that these people gonna pull the trigger, you gotta get on the phone and you gotta have more conversation with people to really create some business, okay? Now, on the other hand, as you know, in our business, you really want to track your contracts and your closings. You want to have some names on it so you know who's on the contract, what deals maybe you have to be followed upon. And also, there'll be some projects, some to-do, some action lists. So I suggest have a tracker for your actions as well for every week. If your coach gave you some homework, write it down, right? If you have to work on your CRM, make sure that's in front of you, right? So that gets scheduled and gets you done. Let me do a quick review. If you jump into real estate or if you're doing this, think about your why you do what you do, what is the bigger picture, where is this profession really taking you, what it means for you, and for the people close to you, what are the goals associated with it, how much money do you need to do to support those dreams, those goals, how many transactions does that translate to, the transaction, what it means in terms of activity wise, what you need to do with the leading activities, right? That's always important, and get it up and visual so you can really make sure that you track this. Just a little tip, maybe not a bad idea to get somebody to hold you accountable. If you don't have a coach, maybe get a coach. If you cannot afford a coach, maybe partner with someone who has similar goals and who also wants to be kept accountable, right? Get in touch with them, put some pain and pleasure behind it so you can really get the stuff done and make it happen. Don't forget, what is your real job is doing the job. And these activities, guys, that's the job, the foremost. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this stuff, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.